Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to my channel. My name is Krizia and I'm a current nursing student at West Coast University. So this week I'm going to be doing a weekly vlog of a nursing student during my first week of my OB term. This week is known to be a very hectic week because it's known for us to be at school every single day because we have to attend a class or a meeting or do a med math exam. So I'm going to take you guys with me every single day to school, when I study, when I go to the gym, how I plan everything out for the rest of the week. I just finished my med-surg term on Tuesday and I start OB on Monday, and we do not have any breaks at this school. Like literally, what is a freaking break? We have none of that because once you finish your finals, you already have to start on your pre-work for the stuff next week if you want to stay on top of everything. So for the pre-work for my OB term, I have to go over and take notes for about 4 chapters, do a medication cards for 22 meds, and then do a abbreviations list with about 40 to 50 words. On top of that, I have to study for my med math exam. During the OB term, you're not only taking your theory and your clinical, but you're also taking 2 online classes. All right, guys, so this is the breakdown for the week. Depending on what clinical section you are, you're gonna have different times, but this is how my schedule is for me, and I'm entering the spring 2020 term. So for Monday, I have my med math exam at 7:30. On Tuesdays is when I usually have clinicals, but on the first week you don't have clinicals. Then on Wednesday, I have lecture from 8 to 11:30. And then Thursday, I have orientation at the hospital that I'm doing my clinicals at. And then Friday, I have a CCC starting at 7:30. I don't know how long that's gonna be. And then on Saturday, I have a skills lab for 1 hour. So that is how my first week is gonna be. If you guys want to follow me along this crazy first week, then go ahead and stay watching. Good morning, guys. I am on my way to school to take my med math exam. It's about 6:58 and my test is at 7:30, so I'm cutting it a little bit close. But before I needed to take my med math exam today, I actually had to do a little bit of ATI modules that I had to turn in before we had to take our first attempt, which I've never had to do, but that was something we had to do. And in order to pass our med math, we have to have over a 90%. So if you don't pass, you have 3 chances to do it, and it's so traffic right now. I hope I freaking make it. Oh my god. I have about 8 minutes to spare, and I made it. I'm gonna try to finish this banana so my stomach isn't grumbling during my test. Passed my med math. I got 100%, but I totally thought I was gonna fail because there were a couple questions that I didn't know if I for sure got right, but I passed. I'm on my way to get my backpack so I can stay for a little bit and study because it's so traffic right now. I'm gonna wait for the traffic to die down, then drive back home. Couple tips to study and prepare for your OB med math is to practice the critical care modules as well as the dosages by weight. Know all your conversions and make sure to read the question very carefully and double check your work. Good morning, guys. It is Tuesday and I'm walking Louie, and oh my god. So on this Tuesday I don't have clinicals. I think on the first week everyone doesn't have clinicals, and we only have 4 clinicals for the OB rotation. And the weeks that you don't have clinicals is when you have to show up at school usually on a Friday to go to a DPC meeting, which will only last for 1 hour. So the plan for today is just to finish my medication abbreviations and to also work on my presentation for my Oxford interview next week. I just got home. I had lecture this morning from 8 to 11:30, and I got out at around 11:30, and I studied after class for about an hour, and then now I'm at home. I'm walking Louie. A couple things that happened during class. We're not allowed to take notes on our computer or tablets. Everything is handwritten. This allows us to be more active in learning
during lecture instead of like doing extra things on the computer, or if you're like not paying attention, it prevents that. The thing too is that I've learned that all my pre-work is gonna be due every Sunday, not the day before lecture. So that's something new. I definitely have to get started on my week 2 pre-work already. And then the other thing is today I have to complete 2 discussion posts on each one of my online class, and those discussion posts are usually due by midnight on Wednesday. So I have to work on that today, finish my med cards, and then start studying for my quiz next week, and then try to see, you know, how I'm gonna divide my work for pre-work that is due for week 2. So I have about 3 days to complete my pre-work because I've worked Sunday, so it's a lot of planning and a lot of work.
Good morning, guys. It is Thursday, day 4 of the week. Today I am going to have orientation at 2 o'clock at the hospital. I am having my clinical rotation at, I don't know how long it's going to take, but we're going to go there, get our badges, and basically go over a couple stuff. That way on the first week when we're actually at the hospital, we don't have to spend time doing all of this and just go straight onto the floor and start our clinicals. And I've honestly been so tired, and this first week is really overwhelming because not only do you go to school plenty of times throughout the week, but you have to plan everything out in terms of making sure you get all your assignments done, and also making sure you get your pre-work done at the same time, making sure that you study enough for your first quiz, because I believe that you have to start off strong, because at the end you don't want to play catch up and try to get like 100% on quizzes in order to pass the class. And I'm exhausted. Like, all I want to do is sleep. But with the recent passing of Kobe, there's been so many things on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram of highlights of him and everything that he says, and like his entire work ethic. And I was watching a video and I was gonna lay down and take a little quick nap, but he said in the video, rest in the end, not in the middle. And now I'm gonna get up, go to Dunkin', and start studying for an hour and a half before I have to go head out to the hospital before my clinicals. So that is a little tip. Rest in the end and not in the middle. So keep on going and keep studying and stay positive. So I forgot my notebook at home with all my pre-work notes. So I'm just gonna actually open up the one that I have on Blackboard, because we're supposed to upload our pre-work online. So I'm just gonna go off that and make my extra little cheat sheet notes. I'm calling, maybe I'm selfish. Okay, guys. I'm in my car. I got here to my clinicals. I'm about 20 minutes early, and it starts at 2. I don't know how long it's going to be, but we were told to bring our clinical packets, making sure that everything is up to date and nothing is going to expire throughout our clinical rotation. And then we're going to get our badges. I think that's what we're going to do, but that's the plan for orientation. And then after that, I have nothing for the rest of the day. I'm just going to start on my pre-work for week 2 and start studying for my quiz for week 1. So all we ended up doing was being educated on how to use the glucometer, and then my instructor gave us a tour around the OB unit and labor and delivery and the mother baby unit. We got our badges, and that's basically it. So that was only like an hour. It was pretty quick. And then tomorrow is when I have CCC and classes the entire day, and pre-brief simulation thing going on tomorrow. So I have CCC tomorrow from 7:30 to 1, and then my pre-brief sim at 2:30 to 4:30. It is almost 5 o'clock. I got to school this morning. I was late. I woke up late. I decided to sleep in, and I fucked up because I got to school. My CCC started at 7:30, and I got to school at around 7:33. And then I didn't even know what room we were in. Supposedly we were supposed to be on the 4th floor. I went to the 4th floor. I couldn't find the class that I was supposed to be at. And luckily I found a couple people from my class, and I asked them, like, do you guys know where the CC is? And they said, yeah, it's downstairs in the 1st floor. So I ended up downstairs the 1st floor. When I walked in, like, the professor wasn't there yet, so everything was good. And so basically
for OB, the fact that we only have 4 rotations, they prepare you a lot on what to do and what we're supposed to do. That way you're aware of everything, and that way you don't spend time going over the syllabus and all the assignments you need to do at clinicals. That way when you get to clinicals, all you need to do is start at your clinicals. So during CCC, it was from 7:30 to 1. It's mostly going over a couple of skills like understanding breastfeeding, to put on a urinary catheter on a female, and small things like that. So we had stations, and before that they talked about all the expectations, the reason why we need to do certain hours, and we went over the concept map, everything that they expected. They went over the paper that we have to write for our patient teaching, which I just found out that I have to create a teaching brochure for my patient on my very first day of clinical, which added more stress. So that's another thing. And another thing we had during the CCC is we had to take a quiz for our medications list as well as our abbreviations. After that, I ended at 1 o'clock. At 2:30 to 4:30, I had to attend my pre-brief simulation, which I have tomorrow from 9 to 10. And all we did was go over how to do a newborn head-to-toe assessment and work with the Alaris pump. And also with CCC, we learned how to do fetal heart. I just got home. I had skills for 1 hour from 9 to 10, but it was running pretty late because I was in section 5 to run from 9 to 10, and section 6 was supposed to come in between 9:30 to 10:30. So they only have like one room for all of us to go in. So it was running a little bit late, but it was pretty easy, pretty fun. All we did was learn about how to check fundal height, Leopold's maneuver, how to put on a toco and a fetal heart, external fetal monitor, learn about priming IVs. You go into a room, they kind of do a little small lecture on certain concepts, and then you go into another room and then you practice the skills and how to do it, and that basically just ran for an hour. Once you're done, you just go out and leave, and that was it. So the end of week 1 of OB, I say, is in order to be prepared, definitely email your OB professor during your med-surg 2 term and ask them if you can get a copy or to start or be able to start on your pre-work early. That way when you start the first week, you won't be doing all your pre-work stuff while doing all this stuff at school, because you have to at least go out 4 out of the 5 days to go to school, or to either go to orientation. At the same time, you might have to end up doing a teaching brochure in your first day of clinicals, and then also having to study for your very first quiz. So I feel like the hardest thing is the transitioning between week 1 and week 2, and making sure that you're prepared for week 2 and your first quiz, because that very same week on week 1, your pre-work is due that Sunday. So you would only have like maybe 3 days to do your pre-work and then study for your quiz. At the same time, doing all your discussion posts and doing all your ATI work. So it's definitely very important to try to get your hands on the pre-work before your OB term and start on that early, because in addition to that, you need to do med cards and you need to do your abbreviations. So that's very important. But I got through it. It's not that hard. I mean, it seems overwhelming, but it's not hard. It's just a lot of busy work, and a lot of times I have to show up for school, and a lot of time management. So make sure that you're prepared and get a lot of sleep and eat healthy, and that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed my week 1 OB vlog, which was the most busiest week I've had at West Coast so far. So if you guys are interested in more videos, let me know down below on what you guys would want to see. I don't know if you guys would want me to see like weekly vlogs of my OB term, see what I do, how to study for OB, things like that. So just let me know down in the comments. Thank you for watching, guys.